So another guy who's a little bit concerned after Virginia is Steve Bannon, who touted Ed Gillespie. And then, of course, afterwards, the problem was the reason why Ed Gillespie lost, according to Steve Bannon, is that he didn't embrace Donald Trump enough. He wasn't Trump enough. And honestly, I want, just for a moment, and we'll play this clip of Bannon on Donald Trump's TV program called Sean Hannity. I want you to just contemplate is there a single politician in the country that you could say who could meet that standard? You had Ed Gillespie, who was shocking in his attacks on immigrants. But who is the politician in this country who would meet the...
Roy Moore. Hates the fucking immigrants, hates the Muslims, and he's also taken on, we're not afraid to cover it. Statutory rape laws are totally unfair.
I mean,
totally
maybe.
And by the way, there's a lot of girls in those tubs that wouldn't have had to been melted in acid if I didn't have to cover up the original crime. That's more PC culture.
Let's not forget that Roy Moore was actually not the person endorsed by Donald Trump.
I endorsed him. Right. I'm Steve fucking Bannon.
Let's go to
I endorsed
Bannon on Sean Hannity.
I think what you're seeing is really the donor class, and particularly in the United States Senate with Mitch McConnell. You know, the House has actually voted on 100. I think it's 180 bills that the Senate has not taken up, including many bills that would be a very difficult vote for Joe Manchin and Claire McCaskill and John Tester and Heidi Heitkamp and other of these red state Democrats that we need to take down in 2018. And Mitch McConnell's refused to do it. I tell you, Sean, I'm to the point that I think Mitch McConnell, to really bring unity to the Republican Party and get things done, I think Mitch McConnell ought to tender his resignation. What he ought to do is offer to resign as soon as taxes are done. We can't do it in the middle of taxes, but I think Mitch McConnell tomorrow should tender his resignation, said, hey, after we get taxes done, I will step aside and we'll have a revote on majority leader. Because I got to tell you, there needs to be a sense of urgency in the Senate. You know, over the last about week, you know, they're now going to work 6 days a week. They're talking about canceling Thanksgiving. They passed the budget. They're starting to move on federal judges. But that's all because, quite frankly, we put the spotlight on Mitch McConnell and said that this guy is just not supporting the president, and he's not supporting the president. The president needs support. If you want to drain the swamp.
You know, I mean, Bannon, it's becoming clearer and clearer that Steve Bannon, I think he doesn't care about Donald. I think if Steve Bannon, if you could get him in a lucid moment, would say that he wants Trump to lose the House. I think he or the Senate probably would be better in his mind, but that's not possible. But I think he wants him to lose the House so that he has this excuse, because he's having to do all of this trouble of pretending that it's Mitch McConnell's fault that they can't get anything through. Because the reality is the House votes are happening because they know it's not going to pass in the Senate. So they take the votes on outlawing abortion. They take the votes, the 180 votes on, you know, I'm sure he's counting and naming some post offices. But they take these votes because they know it's going to die in the House. Just like in 2015, the House and the Senate both passed. Both of them passed an ACA rollback. Repeal and replace. It had to be vetoed by President Obama. And they made those votes when they knew that they didn't have to be held to account. So Steve Bannon's out there. He's working for Steve Bannon. I'm going outside the White House to help Donald Trump outside the White House. No, you're going outside the White House to use Donald Trump to help yourself. And I got to say, I appreciate it. I don't have a problem with it.
Only a Jew would understand my thought process like that. But link back to the other bloated fool that we played earlier, Diamond Resorts guy. It's morons like that created a lane for his neo-authoritarian pseudo-populism.
Yep. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos